George Bernard Shaw was a prolific Irish playwright and critic, known for his wit and social commentary. Some of his most famous quotes span a range of topics from politics and religion to human nature and art. Below are some of his more famous quotes. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. This quote challenges the common notion that self-discovery is the primary goal of life. Instead, Shaw suggests that life is about actively shaping one's identity and destiny, rather than passively finding it. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Shaw highlights that just because words are exchanged doesn't mean communication has been effective. Misunderstandings, assumptions, and lack of feedback can all contribute to the illusion of effective communication. You see things, you say, "Why?" But I dream things that never were, and I say, "Why not?" Shaw is advocating for imagination and innovation over complacency and acceptance of the status quo. Instead of questioning what exists, he urges us to dream of new realities and ask why they can't be achieved. Two things define you: your patience when you have nothing and your attitude when you have everything. The quote emphasizes the importance of character in defining who we are, especially during extremes of adversity and prosperity. Patience during hardship and humility during success are virtues that stand out. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Shaw warns against the abandonment of play, or joyful and imaginative activity, as we age. He suggests that maintaining a playful spirit is essential for staying youthful and engaged with life. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. According to Shaw, being open to changing one's mind is essential for any kind of progress, whether personal or societal. Rigidity in thought stifles innovation and growth. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Shaw argues that progress is driven by individuals who refuse to conform and who challenge the status quo, rather than those who adapt to the existing conditions. If you have an apple and I have an apple and we exchange these apples, then you and I will still each have one apple. But if you have an idea and I have an idea and we exchange these ideas, then each of us will have two ideas. This quote extols the virtue of sharing knowledge and ideas. Unlike physical goods, information grows when shared. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. Shaw encourages learning from mistakes rather than aiming for a life devoid of them. What matters is not the absence of mistakes but the ability to learn and adapt from them. Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. A reiteration of the concept that flexibility in thought is crucial for change and progress. Being stubborn or resistant to new ideas impedes any form of advancement. I learned long ago, never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. This is a humorous way to caution against engaging in pointless arguments or conflicts where nothing constructive is likely to be achieved. The only man I know who behaves sensibly is my tailor. He takes my measurements anew each time he sees me. The rest go on with their old measurements and expect me to fit them. Shaw critiques how people often rely on outdated information or assumptions, unlike his tailor who reassesses each time. Being adaptable and aware of change is smarter than clinging to old paradigms. There is no sincerer love than the love of food. A humorous take on human priorities, this quote also serves as a commentary on the fundamental pleasures that bind us all. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. Shaw warns against the dangers of misinformation. While ignorance can be remedied by education, false knowledge can lead to misguided actions and beliefs. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. This quote advocates for active engagement with the world, even at the risk of making mistakes, as opposed to a passive, uneventful life. A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. Shaw is commenting on the politics of favoritism and the complexities of public opinion. Essentially, policies that benefit a certain group will naturally have the support of that group, regardless of fairness or broader impact. All great truths begin as blasphemies. Shaw suggests that revolutionary ideas are often met with resistance and labeled as heretical before they are accepted as truths. Democracy is a device that ensures we shall be governed no better than we deserve. This is a somewhat cynical take on democracy, implying that the government is a reflection of its people. If the people are uninformed or apathetic, they will get a government that reflects those qualities. The worst sin toward our fellow creatures is not to hate them, but to be indifferent to them. That's the essence of inhumanity. Shaw believes that indifference is worse than active malice. A lack of concern for others is viewed as the ultimate form of inhumanity. The future depends on what you do today. A straightforward call to action, emphasizing the importance of the present moment in shaping the future. Each of these quotes offers a window into Shaw's complex and often challenging views on a wide array of subjects. George Bernard Shaw was born on July 26, 1856, in Dublin, Ireland, and passed away on November 2, 1950, in Ayot St. Lawrence, Hertfordshire, England. He was a prominent playwright, critic, and polemicist, widely regarded as one of the most significant figures in 20th century theater. Early life. Shaw was born into a lower middle-class Protestant family in Dublin. His mother was a professional singer, and his father was a grain merchant. The family's financial struggles had a profound impact on Shaw's early life. His formal education was patchy, and he left school when he was just 16 years old. Shaw moved to London at age 20, where he joined his mother and her companion and vocal coach, George John Vandeleur Lee. Career. In London, Shaw faced several difficult years of near poverty. Initially, he tried to make a living as a writer, but his novels were initially unsuccessful. He then found work as a music critic, before becoming a respected and well-known theater critic. It wasn't until later in his life that he achieved significant success as a playwright. He became known for plays that were both witty and socially relevant, dealing with issues like poverty, class struggle, and the complexities of human behavior. Some of his most famous works include Pygmalion, 1913, which was later adapted into the musical My Fair Lady; Major Barbara, 1905; St. Joan, 1923; Man and Superman, 1903; Fabian Society and Politics. Shaw was an active socialist and a member of the Fabian Society, a British socialist organization. Through his plays, essays, and public speeches, he propagated his views on social and political reform. His works often addressed topical issues in a way designed to challenge conventional wisdom and provoke thought. Personal life. Shaw was known for his eccentric personality and unconventional views on marriage, religion, and society. In 1898, he married Charlotte Payne Townsend, an Irish heiress and fellow Fabian socialist. They had no children, but their marriage lasted until her death in 1943. Later, life and legacy. Shaw continued to write prolifically even into his 90s. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925, and he remains the only person to have been awarded both a Nobel Prize and an Oscar for his contribution to the screenplay for the film adaptation of Pygmalion. He passed away at the age of 94 in 1950 from complications related to a fall. Today, Shaw's work remains widely read and performed, and his contributions to literature and social criticism continue to be studied and celebrated. George Bernard Shaw's life was marked by a relentless pursuit of intellectual and artistic excellence, as well as a deep commitment to social reform. His plays, essays, and public speeches made him a prominent public figure, not just in the realms of literature and drama but also in the arena of social and political thought. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel for more wisdom and inspiration.